Congratulations. You have become a trillionaire, the richest person who has ever existed. You possess wealth greater than 5 Jeff Bezos combined. Even spending $1 million a day, it would take you over 1,000 years to empty your accounts. The world, at this point, is literally in your hands. There is only one detail. Everyone knows it. You are the most famous person on the planet. Your face appears on every screen in every country. Right now, outside your building, a crowd is gathered, dozens, then hundreds of people. Some with cameras, others holding signs, others simply standing still, staring at your windows. The pressure is building. You start to feel exposed, vulnerable, paranoid. But you are a trillionaire, and every problem has an immediate solution. You hire a bodyguard. Then you realize it's pointless. 2. Nothing changes. You need a real system. At least 15 operatives, armed, trained, organized in continuous 24-hour shifts. Government-level protection. You make a few calls, and within 2 days, everything is in place. Now you are safe. Or at least, that's what you tell yourself. Because your old Honda Civic no longer makes sense. So you buy a Bugatti. Then another. Then you stop counting them and acquire the brand itself. $1.5 billion. For you, it's less than 0.15% of your net worth. The equivalent, for an average person, of buying a pair of shoes. Your accountant doesn't even open a new file. He logs it as a minor fluctuation. But there is still a problem, where you live. Your apartment is now unusable. There is always someone outside. Always. And everyone knows where you are. So you completely change scale. You purchase a private estate, over 20 acres, surrounded by high walls, reinforced gates, a guardhouse manned day and night. An internal road, hundreds of meters long, separates the entrance from the main residence, invisible from the outside. Cost, $250 million. Negligible. But a place like this is a complex organism. It needs staff, a lot of staff. Housekeepers, gardeners, 3 private chefs working shifts, a property manager, a house director, drivers, technicians, an IT team dedicated exclusively to security systems, a personal assistant, who in turn coordinates 2 other assistants. Within a few weeks, over 70 people are working for you. Now everything is under control. Everything runs smoothly, precisely, almost automatically. And finally, you can start spending for real. Because you have $1 trillion, and time becomes your problem. You buy a Boeing 747 and turn it into a custom flying private residence. $500 million. You acquire an entire archipelago in the Pacific. You commission the largest private yacht ever built. Helipad, submarine hangars, cinema, fully equipped hospital. $800 million. And yet, there is a part of this story no one ever tells you. $1 trillion has a strange property. It grows faster than you can spend it. Even by choosing the most boring and conservative investments, your wealth increases by millions every single day. You wake up every morning richer than when you went to sleep, without having done anything at all. So money is under control. Security is under control. Cars, properties, staff, everything works. But you just want a coffee. Always in the same place you've been going to for years. Your security team requires at least 30 minutes notice. By the time you finally manage to get in, after passing photographers and curious onlookers, the place goes quiet. Conversations stop. The barista avoids your gaze, hands slightly unsteady. From a table in the corner, someone secretly records you behind a laptop screen. You take your coffee. The taste is the same, but the atmosphere isn't. And so you stop going. You don't want to be the person who changes the air in a room. So you think, I can do good. Real good. You sign a $300 million donation for humanitarian aid. The news covers it for a few hours. Then it fades. Because compared to what you own, it is little more than what your wealth generates in a few days. People are grateful, for a moment, then they get used to it, and they start asking for more. But it's not strangers who weigh on you the most. It's the people you once knew. Your phone never stops ringing. But they are no longer friends. They are lawyers, consultants, officials, foundation executives. All of them want something, a meeting, a signature, your name next to their project. Old friends begin to fade away. Some disappear without a word. Others stay, but their tone changes. More careful, more measured, as if every sentence must pass through an invisible filter. You invite an old university friend to spend a weekend at your place. He agrees before you even finish the sentence. When he arrives, he is impressed by everything. The house, the gardens, the food, every detail. He laughs constantly, agrees with everything, never disagrees with you. And you realize something is wrong. You used to argue about everything. Movies, politics, even where to eat. That was the point. That was where the friendship lived. Now it's gone. And soon, you understand that this isn't even the main problem. Because then the lawsuits begin. Not one. Not two. 19 in the first few months. A former collaborator claims you excluded him from an agreement made almost 10 years earlier. A woman in Nevada claims you promised her millions during a charity dinner you supposedly attended. According to you, you weren't even in the same state at the time. Most of the accusations are garbage. Your legal team is the first to tell you that. They use the word frivolous so often that, at some point, it stops meaning anything at all. But every single case has a cost. Hundreds of thousands just to get started. Every case becomes a headline. Every case demands time, depositions, documents, statements, negotiations. Your lawyers are clear. You need to get used to it. When you possess a fortune like this, someone will always try to take a piece of it. The legal system becomes a constant toll road. And you are the richest toll booth in the world. You shut some cases down immediately. Not because they have merit, but because fighting them publicly costs more than settling them. $1 million here, 2 there. Numbers that, for you, change nothing. But every settlement generates articles, and every article generates more. By the end of the year, your legal budget exceeds $50 million. An entire floor of a law firm is dedicated exclusively to you. You don't even know most of the lawyers working on your cases. Weekly reports arrive, pages upon pages of claims, accusations, attempts to take a slice of what you have. And life goes on, or something that resembles it. Then it happens. You meet her. She is intelligent, spontaneous, with a sense of humor you don't expect. And most importantly, she never talks about your money. Not even once. You see her again. And again. After a few weeks, you start to think it might be real. Then the details emerge. She mentions your island, even though you've never talked about it. She knows your pilot's name. She knows which car you use most often in the city. Small things, but enough to understand. She looked for you before she ever met you, like everyone else. And from that moment on, a question settles in and doesn't leave. Does she actually like you, or does she like what you represent? The compound. The jet. Access to a life she would otherwise never even come close to. And once that doubt enters, everything changes. You look at her differently. You hold back. Then you stop calling her. She texts you a couple of times. Then silence. It could end there. But it doesn't. 2 weeks later, a tabloid publishes a headline, "Your Secret Relationship." Photos of you together at a restaurant. Photos of her outside your compound. Quotes attributed to a close source. It wasn't you. It wasn't her. It was someone else. A waiter, maybe. A valet. Someone who recognized you and decided to cash in. And now it's too late. Her name is everywhere. Her face, her job, even the building she lives in. She receives messages from strangers. Some curious. Others far less so. Before meeting you, she had a normal life. Private. Invisible. And you destroyed it simply by sitting down to dinner with her. Your PR team prepares a response. Your lawyers send cease and desist letters. But nothing brings back what has already been released. You text her. You apologize. Seen. No reply. And it's not over. The leaks continue. And the next one is worse. Someone from your past sells a story. A sentence you said years ago, at a party, taken out of context and turned into a headline. Within 2 days, it is everywhere. People who have never met you now believe they know exactly who you are. Based on something you said casually more than 10 years ago. Your crisis team swings into action. The response is always the same: do not respond. Every time you respond, the situation gets worse. So you find yourself sitting in your office, surrounded by 7 screens, watching someone auction off your old life for what your team estimates at around $300,000. $350,000. That is the price of your past to someone who once knew you well. You cannot call anyone. You cannot confront anyone. You cannot even confirm that you know who did it, because that alone would immediately become another story. So you just stay there. One Sunday morning, your mother calls. She has the same voice as always. She asks if you are eating enough. She tells you about a cat that keeps sleeping on the windowsill. For 10 minutes, everything loosens. Your shoulders drop, the tension fades, and for a moment you almost forget what kind of life you are living. Then she mentions your brother. He didn't ask her to call you. He wouldn't. But he is struggling with the mortgage. The car broke down. And you have more money than entire states. It's family. You didn't know any of it. In the afternoon you send him a few million. He doesn't call. He doesn't message. 3 months later, during a family dinner for which you flew everyone in on a private jet, he is sitting on the other side of the table. He talks to everyone except you. Laughs, replies, participates. But he doesn't look at you. When you try to meet his gaze, he avoids it. He leaves before dessert without saying goodbye. A week later, your mother calls again. Her tone is different. Heavier. Your brother told a cousin that you destroyed the family. That everything changed when the money arrived. Your mother doesn't take sides. She doesn't know what to do. She is just trying to hold the pieces together. She has security she never asked for. A son who no longer speaks to his brother. A family that used to gather around a table and now needs event-level logistics just to be in the same room. You tell her you will talk to him, but you don't. Because what exactly would you say? You cannot undo the money. You cannot unmake the jet. You cannot reduce the distance between the lives that have formed. It is not a conversation that fixes anything. So you stop trying. The compound continues to run. The 70 employees keep everything in motion. The staff routine becomes, in a strange way, a form of stability. Then another meeting with the head of security arrives. Someone inside has been leaking information to a tabloid. Nothing critical, but continuous. Paid. The team traces the source starting from a posted photo, metadata, angle, reflections. A specific window in the east wing. Only 3 people had access to that corridor. They narrow it down in 2 days. It is Linda, the housekeeper. She is escorted off the property on a Wednesday morning. The security team handles everything. You watch from the second-floor window. She is carrying a cardboard box. She does not look up even once. A man in a suit escorts her to the gate. Another opens it without saying a word. She gets into a car already waiting, as if it had always been planned. The gate closes behind her. You stay at the window. Even when the car disappears, you do not move right away. The East Wing corridor is empty. Her replacement is hired by the end of the week. Fast. Orderly. No disruption. But there is always something after. On Tuesday afternoon, you take the yacht out into open sea. The ocean is so blue it feels unreal, as if it had been rendered. The sunset turns everything into a golden surface. Dinner is butter-seared sole, prepared by a chef who spent years in the most prestigious kitchens in Europe. The table is perfectly set. For one person. You return on board and go to bed early. The suite is larger than your entire old apartment. The ceiling is white. Too white. At 3 a.m. you are awake. You get up. The yacht is still. Silent. The interior corridor is empty. The 60-seat cinema is empty. The screen is black. The library is empty. Every room is perfect, immaculate, and used. You walk through the main corridor. The only sound is the low hum of onboard systems. A camera at the far end shifts slightly. It follows you. You stop. It stops. You take a step. It resumes. You step out onto the deck. The air is cold. The sea breathes beneath you. You stay there. Then, days later, you return home. Your assistant is waiting on the runway. She asks how the trip went. Good, you reply. Let's go back to the compound. You pass through the gate. The guardhouse. The private road. The swimming pool you've barely used. The tennis court never touched. The wine cellar filled with bottles worth more than entire annual salaries. You enter your office. 7 screens are on. Portfolio. Companies. Calendar. News articles mentioning your name without permission. You sit down. Outside, security changes shift. New faces replace old ones. The gardener runs the mower across the perfectly kept lawn. More than 60 people work to keep everything in order. And you are the only one who lives there.